So, Cooper Flagg and the Duke Blue Devils have just played their first game, and yeah, they destroyed Maine. Look, they beat Maine by 35 points. It was never going to be a close game. But one thing is for certain after today. I am like 99% sure, barring injury, Cooper Flagg's the number 1 overall pick. There's no question about it. He's the number 1 pick. And you might be saying, like, oh, there's a whole season to play. Nope. There is a whole season to play, but one, he's 17 years old. Like, we can't forget that. If he was 10 days younger, he would be too young to play in the NBA next year. He is 17 years old. I repeat, the man is 17. He's already competed at Team USA camps with the best players in the world. Or with a lot of the best players in the world. So, these teams, obviously they've been scouting him for years, but like, they know that he can do it with the best of them. They know that he can go out there and compete with the best players in the world at 17, which we haven't seen. And like, yeah, they're scrimmage settings, but like, Team USA Select wants to cook Team USA. And he was one of the best players on that Select team. Or is it Select? Whatever the second USA team is. Like, I'm shocked that they didn't bring him to the Olympics. But Cooper Flagg today came in. He didn't shoot well. But the big thing is, he doesn't have to. First of all, shout out though, Killian Gribben. Shout out to Killian Gribben from Letterkenny, from Donegal. A guy who I actually played against when he was a 16-year-old. Or was he 17 years, mate? 16 or 17, when he was first coming up through playing for LYIT in the National League in Ireland. I actually played against the kid. I did not expect him at the time to be, like, normally at that age who the guys are that are expected to be D1 players. Killian Gribben was an unbelievable player, but it was like, had a late growth spurt, was skinny, and now is just a legit D1. 16 minutes, like a legit D1 center. So very, very happy to see him, although he didn't shoot the best, see him getting some good minutes for Maine. And to see him playing, obviously, against Duke. But for Duke, Knipple was obviously their best shooter today. He shot the lights out. And, I mean, if he can continuously do this, we're looking at a guy who's going to probably be drafted. And I really like Maluach. He's what? Has he turned 18 yet? Is he older or younger than Cooper Flagg? He has to be older. But I really liked him for South Sudan. Like, he was 18 a couple of weeks ago. So he's really young as well. I like him as a big. He's raw, very raw, but I really think his potential's, like, he's unlimited potential. But Cooper Flagg, the guy had 3 steals. He didn't have any blocks, but like 3 assists, or 3 steals, 5 assists, 7 rebounds, 6 of 15 with 2 crazy dunks. Did he not hit I thought he hit a 3. Either way, like, he didn't shoot the best. And that's the one thing I will say with Cooper Flagg, is that the guy is just so good at basketball that, like, he doesn't have to score. Like, you obviously want Cooper Flagg to be your main scorer. But, like, he's probably going to average around 18 a game in college. That's probably what his average is going to be. Like, if you can average 18 a game on pretty decent splits, which obviously he didn't shoot today, you'd be more than happy. And he just did this. He just did this in a game. I'm not joking. The man can fly.
Here comes Flagg.
The man can fly. Like, he's already a good defender. At the college level. I think he's already a pretty good defender at the NBA level. And it's just that versatility. It's like, imagine if Andrei Kirilenko gave you more on offense. Imagine if, like, Sean Marion. Imagine if he's Sean Marion with a better, what probably will be a better jump shot. He's flawed. He has no real flaws. Like, he's a better playmaker than a Marion or a Kirilenko too. He's not going to be a guy in the NBA that will give you 30. Like, he's not going to be. And maybe Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper, they think is going to be that guy. But how, like, the ability to drop 30 points is probably less impactful for winning than Cooper Flagg doing everything. Like, he'll come into the NBA and be like probably a 16, 5-4 guy, which is like absolutely rookie of the year this year. The problem is that I think a lot of box score watchers are going to get bogged down on the points, when the reality is that Cooper Flagg does everything, and he's a better defender than he is offensive player, and he has no real flaws in the offensive end. Like, the guy can go left, he can go right, he can finish with both hands in the paint. He has the ability to pull up from 2. He can shoot the 3 when he's wide open. Is he the best shooter in the world? No, but he can still shoot the 3 when he's wide open. Like, there's just no way. And it's one of those situations where it's like, you lose your job if you pass on Cooper Flagg, and Cooper Flagg's an all-star. Like, it doesn't matter. If you, for example, the GM for the Orlando Magic, if Jabari Smith ended up being better than Paolo Banchero, they lose their job. If you go against the consensus and you are wrong, you lose your job. And that's one of the reasons why, no matter what, you'll see the consensus picks being taken the vast majority of the time, is because there's very little, not that there's a risk, there's no risk to you. Like, you are not risking your job by taking Cooper Flagg. You are risking your job taking VJ Edgecombe, taking Ace Bailey, taking Dylan Harper over Cooper Flagg. But for me, I just think, I watch him play and I'm like, this dude could have come into the NBA straight out of high school. This guy could be, if there was no one and done rule, this guy could be playing in the NBA right now. He realistically should, like, he is good enough to be an NBA player. If the one and done rule wasn't a thing, he'd be playing in the league right now, and he'd be the youngest player in the history of the NBA, and he's probably a starter. I'm not joking. I think he is. I don't think he's anything spectacular. I think if he was in this year's rookie class at 17 years old, he's rookie of the year. And he's better than every player right now in this year's rookie class. And I know that's not saying much, but he is a starter, and he's rookie of the year at 17, as what would have been the youngest player in the history of the NBA if there was no one and done rule. And even with there being a one and done rule, he is the second youngest player since 2006. The only younger player is Josh Primo. Like, since the one and done rule has been a thing. So, yeah, I just can't. There's no way a team passes on him. There's absolutely no way that a team passes on this guy. And yeah, fair play to Cooper Flagg, because even in a game, and this is one of the most important things, where it's like, even in a game when he's not shooting well, he impacts the game. And that's one thing where it's like, you see, especially with a lot of young players, it's a rare thing in young players that they impact the game without playing. Well, I will say his A game is the fact he doesn't have a weakness. But like, most of these players, when they're not scoring, they don't really impact the game. And when they're not doing one thing, they don't impact the game in other ways. And Cooper Flagg, and it's something that a lot of players figure out as they get on their career. Cooper Flagg has got that sorted, and he should realistically be a high school senior. He freaking reclassified.